So we're going straight back into the Cauldron of Warming this morning. So laying 2 hands on the Cauldron of Warming, your lower belly, the pelvic bowl, and the seat, the lower back. That's where the Cauldron of Warming sits within the body. And you can swap out cauldron for vessel, for container, for anything you would like to swap it out with that makes you feel more comfortable. But the idea is that we have this container, and this container within which we can affect the contents or the ingredients. That's why cauldron works for me, I have to say. I mean, it is the 3 cauldrons. The Irish, the translation from the Irish is cauldron. But we have to understand that in those days, as I've mentioned before, and I keep mentioning, the cauldron was the pot, you know? The cauldron was medicinal. It's not this idea of the witches sitting around brewing up a potion for destruction. They would have been mixing herbs. They would have been making poultices for bodily ailments. They would have been making teas for general health, etc. So with that said, let's place our hands on our medicinal cauldron, our magic container, and just breathe into the hands, allowing the belly to soften and just to be, not forcing anything. And I'd also just like us to, if we can, place hands either side of the coccyx. Now the coccyx is that part just where the seat meets the spine. It's that the tailbone. So if you can reach that, that's fine. Put your hands flat down on either side of the coccyx. If you can't reach, just connect to it with your mind, with your intention. Just think about it. That's all you have to do. This is the masculine area or point that we can work with on the Cauldron of Warming. The front, where the sort of the womb space, the diamond space, now I'm talking whether you're male or female, the front is the feminine creative force, or the point we can hold to connect to the feminine portion of this cauldron. And then the hands of God, or the sacrum, which is the points either side of the coccyx, that's where we can connect to the masculine energy of this cauldron. And all the way up through the system, we're balancing masculine and feminine all the way up. So however we personally identify, it's important to at least acknowledge that there needs to be a balance within of our own masculinity and femininity, divine masculinity and femininity. Okay, just breathing into that area, that hands of God, that sacrum coccyx area. Sending heat and relaxation, because that is very commonly an area of tension for people, if not discomfort. So breathing some heat and attention into that area. That's a great place to hold if you're not feeling particularly supported in this world, or you are feeling alone. A lot of people who have issues in the coccyx, and I have 2 hands in the air for this one because I had a 10-year a 10-year issue with my coccyx that was triggered by the birth of my eldest child. And we're often the people who are the hyper independents. And what I mean by that is we are people who, we've got it, we've got everything. Don't, broad shoulders, however you want to describe it, the people who other people go to, not necessarily for assistance, but to emotionally open up to and lean on. We are the people who just look, to all intents and purposes, like we've got our shit together. And this area tells us that we too need to lean. We too need to lean. And if there's nobody, we can quite often find ourselves in this life, not just the people with coccyx issues, but in general, we can find ourselves in this life with, how can I say, the people around us maybe no help at all. God loved them because we're all having our own struggles. And this is particularly true at the moment. And this is why I believe this work, this getting into the lower cauldron work, is so important at the moment. It may be that there is no comfort to be found around us. And this area, this sacrum area, this masculine of our container of life, our container of our human essence, this area reminds us and taps us into divine help. If divine help is a bit too much of a reach for you, and I mean that with so much love and grace, but for some people, once you say divine, it's like, oh please, and that's fair enough. But if divine help is too much of a reach for you, think about where that coccyx is in your physicality. It is literally the bottom of your spine. Now, your spine is extremely important energetically, but your spine is extremely important physically, because if you have any issue with that spine, your entire ability to move is affected. So that area is holding up your entire physical ability to move, and your physical ability to sit, and your physical ability to hold your own weight. And then we have the seat. The seat is literally holding you on this earth, whether you're sitting, standing, lying down. The seat is there. It's all involved. This from the coccyx up, your hip health, all of these things. And we know because generally we've all got some niggle or other in these areas. The hips, the pelvis, the spine, the back, the lower back, the upper back, the mid back. Generally, we all have an issue in these things because we're being conned that we're unsupported in this life. And our system is contracting and contorting. Our bodily system is contracting and contorting because of this idea that we are not supported. So when you hold on to this area, even if you just want to think about it as a physical thing, you hold on to this area and you can lean into this area. Literally holds me up. This area allows me to walk through this life. This area allows me to sit. And when there's an issue here, these are the things that are interrupted when there's an issue physically. And so any issues in this lower cauldron are asking for our attention, asking for our connection back into it. And they are often painful, and they are often discomfort. Let's go discomfort. Sometimes it's pain, but let's go discomfort. There's often discomfort in this area for us, whether it's hips, back, pelvis, etc. Whether we have an issue with the poo or an issue with the wee, there's a lot of it. Erectile dysfunction, infertility issues, bad periods, etc., cramping, pain. Then we get menopause. Then we get this area is asking for our attention a lot in this life, and that's why this work with the lower cauldron is vital, especially now. There's very little comfort and stability outside in the world, and we are being asked to find our own comfort within, and this cauldron is key. I will never stop saying that this cauldron is key, because it just is, because I have witnessed my own transformation in having delved back into this cauldron. I've witnessed the effect it has on clients, and I've seen the effect it has when I use it in an energetic session. So tomorrow I'm hosting a free masterclass. Details will be below.